It's the 23rd of September 2024. You're most welcome to the NILEcast only on West Nile Television. Let's dive straight into the stories that have made headlines today. A flock of patients with hernia, eye infections and other diseases that needed surgery converged at Yumbe Regional Referral Hospital for the 7 days health camp organized by Chare organization. Osuta Yusuf reports.
The 7 days health camp, which started last weekend and it is expected to run for 1 week, was lobbied by the woman MP for Yumbe District, Honorable Avako Melissa Neema, through a Turkish-based organization. The principal thermal clinical officer heading the eye department at Yumbe Regional Referral Hospital, Mr. Miso Onesimus, rallied the general public to have routine body checkups in order to know their health statuses.
You know, getting linkage with the this kind of people who donate or NGOs who are very far, it was through the effort of the woman MP of Yumbe District local government, that is the Honorable Avoko Melissa Gule, who worked tirelessly and had to attract these people on the ground. That's why we are getting the fruit of her efforts. That's how we came to be in friendship with these Chare people from Turkey. The advice I can give to the community outside there is a routine checkup. You know, we have a very poor culture of going to access medical services.
Gule Fred, a patient from Koboko district who lived with hernia for close to 21 years, and he eventually got operated by the doctors from Chare Doctalare organization, narrated the pain he went through in the past and how he now feels relieved after a successful hernia surgery during this health camp in Yumbe Regional Referral Hospital.
I have been having the hydrocell, which lasted around 21 years, and now I was operated yesterday, which freed me a bit, because I used to have some problems with my waist, some pain somewhere. It is caused by that thing, I know. Immediately went to that, I felt a bit okay. Now so far, I have seen their camp is good. They are even operating people very fast, and there are no problems like the death cases I've realized even. It means everything is going well.
The Deputy Resident District Commissioner for Yumbe District, Matthew Voni Vuyaya, while complimenting the organization for these efforts of improving service delivery in the health sector of Uganda, said diseases have no colors and boundaries.
This regional referral hospital is the second in the West Nile region. Much as the West Nile region has 2 regional referral hospitals, we are definitely overwhelmed because we are surrounded by other sister countries.
Honorable Avako Melissa Neema Gule, the woman MP for Yumbe District, affirmed that after she was elected and sworn in 2021, she wrote and delivered to the Turkish embassy a concept note detailing numerous challenges the people of Yumbe District and Western region go through, ranging from healthcare challenges, among others, which she said was approved and considered for funding and implementation after Chare Doctalare organization, one of the non-profit organizations in Turkey, picked interest in what she submitted.
We then presented the issue of people suffering with different diseases that needed the referrals, especially here. They will be referred to Mulabu, will be referred to other abroad hospitals like India and so on. But you know, we are still developing country. Our people still have low income levels. When they are referred, normally they face challenges that they may even fail to access the treatment, and then we end up losing the person. So as a member of parliament, I have that mandate on behalf of people to speak to prominent people who can come to the aid of people.
During this same health camp, the organization also donated assorted medical equipment and medicines worth over 500 million shillings for the regional referral hospital, which serves the people of West Nile region, South Sudan and DRC Congo. Yusuf Osuta, West Nile Television, NILEcast.
More in our stories. During the budget consultative meeting organized by the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, attended by the representatives of the local government leadership in the West Nile region, Minister Honorable Evelyn Anite stated that the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development is set to grow the economy tenfold by 2040 under the strategy of growing the gross domestic product from the baseline of $50 billion in the financial year 2023-2024 to $500 billion within 15 years. Take a look. The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development is set to grow the economy tenfold by 2040 under the strategy of growing the gross domestic product from a baseline of $50 billion in the financial year 2023-2024 to $500 billion within 15 years. This was revealed during the budget consultative meeting held with representatives of the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development and the local government leadership in the West Nile region at Hotel La Confidential in Arua City, with the chief guest, the State Minister for Northern Uganda, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Omona. The State Minister for Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Honorable Evelyn Anite, while giving the keynote address from Honorable Matthias Kasaja, stated that the fourth National Development Plan is consistent with His Excellency the President's guidance on the ambitious plan to grow the economy tenfold by 2040 and will be finalized and implementation will commence in the financial year 2025-2026.
I implore you to pay interest in ensuring that your budget are in line with the priorities of government to grow the economy tenfold. We want to take it to 500 billion in line with the strategic direction of the NDP 4. You should ensure that your budget framework paper for the financial year 2025-2026 are prepared in line with the grand guidelines. The guidelines in the first budget, called circular, are submitted not later than 5th November, that's an important date, 15th November 2024. In addition, I urge you to finalize your respective development plans by 31st March 2025 to guide the budgetary release in the financial year 2025-2026. We shall finance the budget for the financial year 2025-2026 using our domestically generated resources. That's why we expect you to generate more revenue, as well as external resources. Considering that external financing has reduced, emphasis will be on strengthening our domestic revenue mobilization strategy. In this regard, we shall undertake the following measures. Repurpose the resource in the current budget and improve allocative efficiency to focus on the high-impact sectors of the economy. Effective implementation of the domestic revenue mobilization strategy, enhancing local revenue performance through automation of systems, incentivize diversification of private capital to balance government securities vis-a-vis other forms of private financing, that is equities. Rethinking the reform of the pension sector, insurance on capital markets to unlock the huge financial potential. Further explore of oil and gas reserves to increase revenue that can finance investment in other sectors of the economy. Leveraging affordable and sustainable financing through adequate capitalization of Uganda Development Bank. So far we have capitalized Uganda Development Bank with 1.4 trillion and we expect to capitalize more. And the more we capitalize, we expect you, the people of West Nile, especially the leaders from West Nile, to pass the message to the West Nilers that there is money in UDB and it is at an interest rate of 12% and it is going to focus on the ATM sectors and that the people should seize the opportunity and seize it now for the development of West Nile.
The State Minister for Northern Uganda, Honorable Kenneth Omona, in his address expressed happiness towards West Nile region's connection to the national grid but however urged Minister Honorable Evelyn Anite to lobby for funding to connect the local communities to electricity in order to facilitate production. Honorable Dr. Kenneth Omona further requested the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to hold engagements with the local governments to monitor and provide accountability of resources allocated to the different local governments.
Of course, the West Nile here, where we have the challenges of electricity. I hope the process of extending power, I'm very happy that West Nile has now been connected to the national grid. And the minister there has been so passionate and very vigorous on the issue of extending or connecting West Nile to national grid. So what now also remains is how finding money to ensure that this electricity is now taken into the communities to stimulate production. And in line with this also, the Minister, our industrial parks in West Nile here, we are eagerly waiting. In fact, in this region, we sit in the most lucrative area of trade. So if you do one in the Navy, then I think there are another in Madeo Column, somewhere, where? In Boboko. If we develop this and manufacture here, I can assure you, our market is very close here. I'm not manufacturing. Very close. When I say very close, you know what I mean. We have a huge market here. So we really want this to be done and to ensure that we now go full blast in monetizing our economy. This is very, we are going to talk about increasing our economy tenfold when you're not manufacturing, we're not yet in good financial earnings. If you can also provide within, we talk about budget management, there should also be a workshop like this to monitor what your budget is achieving. So maybe another time also put a workshop to monitor local governments so that local governments come here and give accountability. One by one, there are not very many. One by one, local governments give accountability of what they are doing with the resources which are got from governments.
The Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, under the guidance of His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, intends to grow the economy tenfold by 2040 by shifting to a higher growth trajectory of propelling the economy to a double-digit growth, raising the tax to GDP ratio to 30%, raising per capita GDP from the current $1,146 to $7,000, among others. Okumuringa Christine, Rako Benson Pastore, West Nile TV, Nilecast. The Uganda National Roads Authority has engaged the grievance management committees in Moyo District over the Kuboko-Yumbe Moyo Road project to ascertain the level of readiness for the project among the community. Okuma Dominic reports.
The engagement brought in over 50 grievance management committee members across the district to ascertain the level of preparation and readiness for the project, which is set to commence by the start of October so as to avoid issues which might cause further delays in the implementation of the road project. Engineer Ochola Moses, the project coordinator, Uganda National Roads Authority (UNRA), urged the grievance management committee members to help the contractor in identifying some of the needed raw materials for the construction of the road and negotiate the prices of such materials so as to avoid cases of exploitation and overhacking prices of the raw materials, which ends up making the project to stall.
To help us on issues of sourcing of materials, to help the contractor, we have put there the community liaison officers of the contractor also on top of like him. You can relate with those community liaison officers of the contractor and the contractor to see that we can get the borrow pips and all those things in the price, which is now we are thinking that they're telling us it's 5 or 7 times. People are becoming a bit of business minded. Please don't do that to your project. Otherwise, all the money will go into acquiring material and then there is no road.
Mr. Tino Muhammad, a member of the Grievance Management Committee, said they have been grappling with a number of issues which the community members had raised to them, which included 25 uncompensated plots, over 7 unassessed trees, among others, which he, however, said was being resolved by the recent UNRA engagement meeting with the community members.
We have 25 grievances for the delayed payments, 25 grievances for the delayed payments. 2, we have 8 unassessed land, which still stands a problem. 3, we have 2 cases that is in the court. 4, we have 7 unassessed trees. These are trees which are unassessed.
Mrs. Mania Mary, another member of the Grievance Management Committee, wondered how the committee can impact on their work, saying though they had been trained earlier on, but since the project has over-delayed, they are confused on how they can go about with their work.
How are we going to work, or how do we work? Although we have been trained on how to work, because this project has taken so long, people are confused. We work, when we are approached by the people, we have not been moving to them as regularly as possible, because unless an issue comes about, a grievance comes about, that's when we go down to settle them. But as the work is going to commence, how are we going to work?
The Koboko Yumbe Moyo Road project, which measures 103.08 kilometers, has already been okayed to be tarmacked, with a groundbreaking ceremony done in May 2024 in Yumbe district. But since the groundbreaking ceremony, no physical works have been seen on ground, something which made the public within the region to have doubts on the project, which has now taken close to 3 months down the road after the groundbreaking ceremony. It's upon this background that UNRWA and the contractors are moving around the districts to assure the public about the existence of the project and preparing grounds for the official works to begin on the road. Dominic Antonio Kumu, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
And more in our stories. The Council of Elders and Ministers in Aringa Kingdom on Tuesday the 17th of September 2024 have given hope for peace and reconciliation between the rival clans of Oluba Alangi and Oluba Aliba clan on the deadly dispute stemming from the 600 acres of land in Bolomoni village in Yumbe district. Take a look.
The deadly dispute between two clans stems from 600 acres of land in Bolomon village, Otakwa Parish in Northwest Sub-County, Aringasaf constituency in Yumbe district, which has been owned and farmed by late Luka Akile Fenro and his family for over 90 years without any complaints until recently when Mr. Suleiman Karube Dudu from Oluba Lang clan showed up claiming to be the legitimate owner who gave him the land. Disagreements over the land resulted into a bloody conflict on Monday, 19th of August 2024, where 2 people from Oluba Lang clan died after they were shot with arrow, and another person, Mr. Luka Akele Fenru from Oluba Aliba clan, who had been using the land for so many years, also died after he was shot with an arrow. During the reconciliation, peace and forgiveness meeting held and mediated by Aringa Kingdom, the 2 conflicting parties of Oluba Aliba clan and Oluba Lang clan both agreed not to engage in any physical confrontation over the land, and they also requested for the release of their relatives who were taken to prison over murder cases, which resulted from the 19th of August 2024 bloody land wrangle. Mr. Suleiman Karube Dudu from Oluba Lang clan, whose son Taban Toa was shot dead during the conflict, stated that matches his son was shot dead with an arrow in the land wrangle, that may be the death the Almighty God with him, adding that no one from his clan should never take weapons again to go and start a war over the 600 acres of land he alleged belongs to him, even when the family of Mr. Luka Akile Fenro built houses and has been herding animals and farming crops on the land for over 90 years now.
chikoma ba tusima mubirule ales bazi bangote abatritiku ya gata madiga macho amadi ini bata dongi judi no rapid diple kengamba ngijonje dipe mungu tulegani ba.
Mr. Nguyo Bosco, whose other 4 brothers, Mr. Okulega Fenru Gaspar, Mr. Toko Joffrey, Mr. Fenru A. Robert, and Mr. Romano Apeko, were taken to prison for allegedly participating in the shooting to death 2 people from Olubalan clan upon decrying the death of his late father Luka Akile Fenru, who was equally killed by some people from Olubalan clan during the land conflict, warned that if there will be no understanding, peace and reconciliation, the list of suspects who will be arrested and taken to prison in connection with his father's death and other related crimes committed against their family will be enormous.
Anda sabitis mavada prison gada mamkin reda kina nalo amaka mawambedo mai bara kijaga leki prelo kedri piru kyo alo akoziki sigale kesni rawa ingona lavado.
Through implementation of alternative dispute resolution, which was recently formed and adopted by the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs of Uganda in order to reduce case backlogs among other challenges affecting justice system in the country, Mr. Engule Zuma Alhai Gobere, the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs in Iringa Kingdom, said arresting and jailing suspects from both parties involved in the bloody land conflict will cause more insecurity in the area.
You know, taking those people to court will exaggerate everything. As Iringa Kingdom, we are going to ensure that the moment there is peace, from there we shall switch to the land issue.
Iringa Kingdom Chairman Mr. Asega Mustafa Muhammad, who is mediating the peace and reconciliation meeting between the 2 conflicting clans, while narrating the resolutions from the meeting they held with the parties, averred that as a kingdom they will continue to negotiate and persuade the government to release all the 6 arrested suspects in connection to the murder cases so that they will come home to solve the problems according to the traditions of Lugbara people.
Ijo amadi kingdom gari kingdom le piri ijo kega ole muke jo muke ba fini ijo njiri kile baduki ku ari udida ini pisiga ba jada ba dipika bebo.
The Peace and Reconciliation Dialogue meeting, which resulted into forgiveness and handshake between the 2 clans and a resolution for Iringa Kingdom to coordinate with Yumbe district officials to negotiate for the total release of the suspects taken to prison in connection with the murder cases, was also adopted. Yusuf Osuta, West Nile Television, Nalkas.
And more in our stories. During the Regional Joint Health Sector Review meeting co-hosted by Arua and Yumbe Regional Referral Hospital in Yumbe District, it was revealed that the increasing cases of mortality and morbidity rate across the various districts in the West Nile region is raising concerns among the stakeholders. Take a look.
The increase in cases of mortality and morbidity rate across the various districts in the West Nile region has raised the eyebrows of different stakeholders, leaving them concerned. This was during the Regional Joint Health Sector Review meeting co-hosted by Arua and the Yumbe Regional Referral Hospital in Yumbe District. The 2-day session attracted different stakeholders such as health personnel, political leaders, partners, academia, media fraternity, cultural leaders, developmental partners, among others, who all raised their eyebrows towards this challenging saga and the best strategies that can be put to calm the situation. Alema Diki, Secretary in charge of Health Marcha District, highlights the public with some of the common challenges and mistakes encountered leading to increased morbidity and mortality rate in the region.
Some people still have a belief that their wives can deliver normally without the help of these health experts, the midwives. and therefore they delay taking these mothers to the nearby facilities for assistance. Sometimes when these mothers come for these services at the health center 3, where our personnel at that facility level, at that level cannot manage, they are expected to do referrals. Sometimes these referrals are not done timely. It makes some of our mothers lose their lives. Sometimes we lose the child. As such, in referrals, the challenge I've got now from my technical officers is that the issue of fuel in the ambulance sometimes challenging. The health workers will be willing to do referrals, but where the ambulance services are lacking, it also becomes complicated.
Meanwhile, Ataku Haret, a midwife from the health center to Pakwati district, urges her colleague midwives to be time conscious to minimize the cases and further encourages pregnant mothers to embrace antenatal care services.
The advice I can give to my fellow colleagues midwives about maternal mortality and morbidity. 1. Time management. When you manage your time well, you'll have enough time to give care for these mothers. And then also to the mothers, education about health-seeking behavior, early health seeking behavior. So mothers are supposed to give enough package to them during antenatal, so that by the time they are coming for delivery, they are already prepared. I think for all these years I've been working in health center too, we never come across maternal death.
Honorable Dr. Georgie Didiboka, Chairman of Health Committee in Parliament, similarly highlights the public with the challenges leading to this saga and best strategies to resolve it.
My recommendation was that one, we shouldn't have too many resolutions. We should have very focused resolutions, areas like strengthening governance, strengthening infrastructural capacity, ensuring we have access to medicines and health supplies, improving the referral systems, and the quality of care, amongst others. Last but not least is the question of staffing. If we take all the staffing now, we are at just about 65%. We just lost 9. And if we take into consideration the new staffing norm, most of our facilities are operating at less than 30% staffing.
Uganda Demographic and Health Survey has revealed a troubled trend with infant and prenatal deaths on the rise in all districts, ranging from 15 to 34 deaths per 1,000 births in the financial year of 2022-2023. Orak Benson Pastore, West Nile Television Nilecast.
This week, my name is Orak Benson Pastore. This is West Nile Television and the program is Nilecast, but I am coming up with the part 2. I am talking about Nilecast Sports. I can confirm to you final and very soon Bet Power FIFA Big League is commencing and teams are in high gear ahead of Regional League. That means they are now playing friendlies, and in Europe we saw dramatic encounters towards the closing edges of the games, which still leaves people in dilemma. But let's start it with what is happening within the region of West Nile, and we started from Greater Alu region in relation to the team that comes from Yumbe district called Calvary. Over the weekend, yesterday, there was a very huge encounter between the team of Calvary Football Club that comes from Yumbe up against Nebi Central. Calvary is a team that plays in the second tier of Ugandan football. Meanwhile, Nebi Central is one of the biggest teams we have from Greater Alu region, particularly in Nebi. And yesterday, they had a friendly. Nebi Central managed to win the game by 1-0. The friendly was ahead of the preparation for the new season of Regional League and also Bet Power FUFA Big League. Let's first take a look at how things happened in that particular game.
As the Regional League season 2024-2025 is near, this has prompted many clubs to seriously prepare for the game through friendly matches to showcase talents of their new players. However, during a friendly game between Nibi Central FC and Calvary FC, Geoffrey Torwinyoa, technical director Nibi Central FC, said they have embarked on a series of friendly games to prove their strength for this season. Torwinyoa added that Nibi Central FC will perform better than the previous seasons as they have acquired prominent players. He attributed their win against Calvary FC to commitment by players and leadership.
Started and therefore we are climaxing our preparation. That's why we're beginning to get bigger clubs. A game with Calvary, a big league side, is good test for us. So just like any ordinary, but we thought a bigger club like this would be good to set us, because in 2 weeks or 3 we should be kicking off our league and we shall be good to go.
Simon Otim, the head coach Calvary FC, conceded a defeat and applauded Nibi Central Football Club for hosting them. Otim added that some of their key players were not present in the game, leading to their downfall during the friendly match.
But our main and major motive of coming to Nibi here, it is because Nibi Central is one of the good teams in the region, and we thought like it is going to give us quite a good challenge. That is why we chose to come here to Nibi.
The friendly game, which was played at Luo Ground, Nibi, attracted many football fans who exhibited their support to their clubs. The game ended 1-0 in favor of Nibi Central FC. Alfred Jawok, West Nile TV, Nile Cast.
As the days for FUFA Big League nears, I need to update you with the drafted fixtures, and these games are set to commence on the 6th of next month, the month of October, and the year is 2024. Here are the drafted fixtures for the opening games. For Blacks Power, they will be opening their campaign with a game up against Arua Hill, and this game will be at Akiba Memorial. Meanwhile, for Kataka, that comes from Mbale City, they will welcome their brothers, that's Mbale Heroes, and this game will be at Mbale Municipal Stadium. For Karo Karunzi will be taking on one of the teams that had just been relegated from StarTimes Uganda Premier League, Gaddafi, and for Tigezi Homeboys, they will have to continue their fight with a game up against one of the newly promoted sides called Tukaseze, and this game will be Kabale. Meanwhile, for Chinda Boys, they will be staying at Bertham City ground as they welcome one of the newly promoted sides, also called Malaba Youth Development Association in South East Maida. And the biggest class will actually be a derby between Onduparaka Football Club, as they will be maintaining Ababet playing ground as they welcome Paida Black Angels. I want to repeat it again. Paida Black Angels, they will be open their campaign with a game, with an away game up against Onduparaka Football Club. Why don't we then move to StarTimes Uganda Premier League? Match day 2 is actually climaxing tomorrow. In fact, match day 3 is commencing with the NEC set to entertain UPDF. Meanwhile, starting from 24th, expect a game between Police up against Soltino Bright Stars, and then Lugazi will be taking on the team of Vipers. Let's now jet to Europe, whereby we had a dramatic encounter towards the closing edges of the game, in the game between Manchester City up against Arsenal, which still leaves people in dilemma. And we saw that dramatic encounter, which ended in a 2-2 tie between the team of Arsenal and Manchester City. That one wasn't the only game played over the weekend and yesterday. The early kickoff game of the day was between and Hove Albion and Nottingham Forest. Then on played between Manchester United and Manchester United, which ended 0-0. Crystal Palace, Manchester United, which ended 0-0. For Bournemouth, they travelled away to Anfield. Liverpool managed to wake up from the defeat they had into the hands of Nottingham Forest, this time demolishing Bournemouth by 3-0. For Aston Villa, they still continue with their fine run of form after demolishing Wolves. They had to come from a goal down to see that they swept away Wolves by 3-1. For Chelsea, they had a convincing 3-0 win over the team of West Ham in London Derby, Jackson Square near Brest. Spurs beating the team of Brentford by 3-1, coming from back-to-back defeats into the hands of Newcastle and Arsenal, this time convincingly winning against Brentford by 3-1. Southampton sharing the spoil with Ipswich Town, which ended 1-1. Another same scoreline was between Leicester City and Everton, which also ended 1-1. Meanwhile, Fulham surprisingly beating Newcastle at Private Cottage by 3-1. Now, table has started taking a step. Right now, Manchester City is leading the table. Of the 5 games they have played, they are having 13 points. Liverpool is having 12 points. Aston Villa is having 12 points. Meanwhile, Arsenal is having 11 points. And top 5 is actually completed by the team of Chelsea also with 10 points. Where is Manchester United? Manchester United is at number 11 with something of around 7 points. And some of the selected games in some of the big top European leagues. In French League 1, Paris Saint-Germain dropped points over the weekend into the hands of Reims, which ended 1-1. For Monaco, there were 3-2 winners over Strasbourg, and for Olympique de Marseille, they actually beat Lyon by 3-2, and the biggest win was actually registered over the Saint-Etienne, which ended by 8-0. Then in German Bundesliga, Stuttgart had to thrust aside Dortmund by 5-1. Meanwhile, for Bayern Munich, they ran riot over Werder Bremen, demolishing them by 5-0. And Bayer Leverkusen got it later against Wolfsburg, beating them by 4-3, and RB Leipzig being tied into a barren draw by the team of St. Pauli. Then Italian Serie A did see Roma winning 3-1 over Udinese. Then Napoli playing a barren draw with the team of Juventus. For AC Milan, they were away to enter, and they managed to sock them with a 2-1 them. And lastly, in the Spanish Primera Division, Barcelona did pick the biggest win over the weekend, demolishing aside Villarreal by 5-1. Meanwhile, for Real Madrid, they beat Espanyol Barcelona by 4-1. Atletico Madrid sharing the spoil with Rayo Vallecano yesterday night, playing 1-1. Then in Spanish Primera Division right now, the point gap between Real Madrid and Barcelona is now 4, with Barcelona leading the table with 18 points. Real Madrid is having 14 points. Let's close the chapter there. Till tomorrow, that's when I'll be bouncing back into the studios to give you the same segment of sports.
Thank you, Ralco Benson Pastore, for that.